I'm Grace Silk, and I'd like to welcome you to our latest Aquaponics USA and Aquaponics World video. This video is an introduction to our new commercial systems company called Aquaponics World. This is me in my rendition of the Duck Dynasty USA flag fashion statement. And as irony would have it, we are about to introduce you to some proprietary technology that we call Duffy Ducks. So let's all have a really ducky time today together touring our new Aquaponics World Food Forever Micro Farm. If you've been following our videos since around 2009, you've already met OC Cat. We didn't want to bring him into the fish room here today because he would have been freaked out. So we'll have you meet him again when we get out in the yard, because he's going to be the only familiar thing that you're going to see if you've been following our videos. Everything else, after we introduce this new company, Aquaponics World, everything around here has changed. So we can't wait to share all these incredible changes with you, because our greenhouse and our grow room are now demonstrating a micro Food Forever farm. Before we go on this tour, let's do a little recap of our two companies. Aquaponics USA designs and sells small backyard home and school systems. These systems are for indoor and outdoor growing, and the company is aimed at the US market. We call these systems Food Forever Growing Systems, and you can find us on the web at aquaponicsusa.com. But Aquaponics World is a cat of a different color. It's not an orange cat like OC Cat. It's an LLC, and it designs and sells large-scale commercial systems. The market is the world for Aquaponics World, and our goal is to place a network of Aquaponics World farms all over the planet. These systems also can grow food indoors and outdoors, and we call them Food Forever farms. Like I said, the addition of Aquaponics World changed everything around here. In the past, our greenhouse and our grow room were demonstrating our small home and backyard systems. Now they're demonstrating our Food Forever farm, and we can't wait to show it to you. 1 month ago, this big change that I'm talking about happened. And wow, what an incredible and costly change it was. The micro Food Forever farm I'm talking about has all the bells and whistles of a full-size 10,000 square foot Food Forever farm, except it's about 1/10 the size of the smallest farm we're offering. In this video, we're going to show you our micro Food Forever farm, greenhouse, grow room, and engine room, which is also the fish room. Do you hear the sounds? Those are the fish tanks. We'll bring you back in here and show you the fish room after we take the rest of the tour. The water system in all of these environments is hooked together to create one recirculating aquaculture system known as a RAS. I regret to inform you that key components of the engine room are not going to be shown, because we're posting this video publicly, and we're in patent processes with our solid separation biofiltration system and our water enhancement technology system we call the WET system. So those systems are under NDAs. So remember, when you go on this tour, and if you've been following our videos, you've already seen the containment areas. The greenhouse is the same on the outside. The grow room is the same on the outside, but the inside is totally different. and we can't wait to share them with you. So here we go. Here you see the expanded clay from 9 deep media grow beds. There's a big pile right here, and there's another pile right over there. We took this expanded clay out of those 9 deep media grow beds, and at this moment we don't even have 1 deep media grow bed up and running. We plan to put 3 in our greenhouse in the very near future. But what we've replaced the deep media beds with are the proprietary Duffy Duck systems that I told you about when we were in the fish room. And we're going to show you those in just a minute. Now, having an aerospace engineer as our systems designer has its advantages. The most important advantage being that Oliver was not about to blindly copy the same commercial aquaponics systems that most people are putting out into the marketplace today. He knew he could improve on that system. The kind of system I'm talking about is deep water culture, long troughs, lots of water flowing through with polystyrene rafts floating on top with the holes cut in and the plants in the holes. He knew he could create a better mousetrap, and that's what we did. So he created 2 styles of these Duffy Duck systems, a horizontal Duffy Duck system and a vertical Duffy Duck system. If you know anything about aquaponics, you know that there are 3 kinds of grow beds. Deep media beds use the expanded clay that we showed you earlier. And this expanded clay acts as the biofilter. It also acts as the holder for the plants. The second type of bed is a deep water culture bed, like I've already described. And the third type of bed is called a nutrient film technique, NFTs. This bed is a long, narrow, and shallow rail-like bed, and very small amounts of water flow through this bed. Those are the 3 types. What Oliver has designed in his Duffy Duck system is a combination of deep water culture and nutrient film technique grow beds. He's designed both vertical Duffy Ducks and horizontal Duffy Ducks. And in our greenhouse, we're going to show you his vertical system. Over here on the right, you see a picture of what the greenhouse used to look like before we did our conversion 1 month ago. It had 5 deep media beds in it, and they were each 11 square feet of grow bed growing area. So we could grow about, I don't know, 18 heads of lettuce out of each one of those. So 5 times 18, you can do the math. And here now we have this incredible vertical system. This is the first living romaine wall right here. We've been picking romaine as fast as we can. This is past ready to harvest. So we've created a CSA with local markets and restaurants to help us consume all this lettuce that we are growing. This is called an inverted V Duffy Duck system. It's a vertical Duffy Duck system, and there's 2 of these in here, 2 of these inverted V vertical systems in here, growing 224 heads of living romaine lettuce, which we plan to put out on the market. Isn't it amazing? We are just so thrilled with how this system is working, and like I said before, all the water in this system is plumbed into the new fish room. The fish room, the grow room, and this greenhouse are all one water system. You do one water measurement and you get the results for all of those areas. Over here you see some seedling trays full of butter lettuce ready to go into our seedling area, which we're going to show you, that's in our grow room. And here is our trademark, our Aquaganic trademark. pesticide, chemical, and GMO free, beyond organic, certified aquaganic. It's a U.S. trademark that we have. So we just are overjoyed by how incredibly productive this system is, and we are going to be putting out we're going to be putting lettuce into the marketplace, packaged as well as loose, for our markets, our participating CSA markets and restaurants. The water that you hear flowing is from a couple of sump tanks that we have in this greenhouse, but there are no fish. Here I am sitting on what we call our fish couch, holding OC Cat. I promised you I'd bring him in, and so here he is. He's being really good today. And we're just enjoying the beautiful high desert sunshine above Palm Springs, California. Before I take you, oops, there goes OC Cat leaving pieces of himself behind. It's spring, so we've got shedding kitty here. And I'm going to take you into our engine room from here so you can meet the fish. They are the engineers of this whole system. Before we go in there, what I'd really like to show you is what's on top of the fish room. So let's take a peek at what's on top of the fish room. I wanted to take you to the roof of the fish room, where we have installed 6,000 watts of solar panels. These 6,000 watts of solar panels pretty much run our aquaponics system for us, and we can't wait till we can install more so that we can run the whole house. But right now, this 6,000 watts does our Food Forever micro farm. And the way we did this, when we decided we were going to add this fish room, we built the roof first, and then we put the solar panels on the roof, and then we enclosed the room, and then finished off the inside of the fish room. So it's coming around to the time of year when we're going to get a great benefit, around $300 a month off of our electric bill, because we installed these solar panels, and we are so happy about that. We wanted to share. Behind me is not related to our aquaponics system. This is a solar water heater for the pool that you really don't see, that's down below. And that works great. Actually, we've gotten our 32-foot pool, 32 by 18 feet, I believe it is. We've gotten that pool up to 104 degrees, actually 108 degrees, which is pretty amazing for that much water. So this solar heating system works really, really well. Okay, from here, we're going to go down that ladder over there as soon as I get my nerve up, and take you inside the fish room. Right over here on your left is what our rad shielded logo, and it's in front of, it's between the grow room and the fish room, and it's indicating that any food grown in the grow room, also any food grown in the greenhouse, is protected from radiated rain, snow, and soil. Fukushima really did happen. Sad to say, Fukushima really did happen, and it is still putting out radioactive plumes into the air, also into the ocean, and food that is rad protected in enclosed environments like grow rooms and greenhouses is much more desirable than food that is grown out in the open air these days, and that's just a sad fact. So this logo is going to be on all of our packaging. You will see it on some of our packaging designs when you go into the grow room, and that's what it's telling us. Come on in. Come on in. This is our new fish room. We have 5 120-gallon fish tanks in here, and we're running about 12 to 15 fish in each tank. They're big. We have some of the biggest tilapia in the world, I think, and the total poundage is around 150 pounds. These fish are the engineers of this system. They are growing all that romaine you saw down in the greenhouse and all of the growth that you see, all the plants and vegetables that you see in the grow room. And it's all happening right from here, the engine room. We have automatic fish feeders. This one needs to be filled. I ought to do that any minute now. And these are feeding these fish about 4 times a day. A certain prescribed amount. We're not wanting them to grow too much more, so we're not overfeeding these fish. We're going to show you the fish up close in just a minute. Over here we have our nursery. We've got 5 baby tilapia in there, and these guys are just about ready to join the big fish in the big tanks because they're getting pretty big. We're looking for babies. We ought to be having a crop of babies any minute now to put in that tank. We could never put the little babies in with these teenagers because the teenagers are so hungry for protein they would eat those babies in a minute. So once we have a new crop of babies for that tank, that nursery tank, we're going to take those guys out and put them in with the big fish. I'm going to pass the audio over to Oliver, and he's going to tell you what else is going on in this incredible fish room that we've added to our system.
Well, here we are in the fish room. We have 5 120-gallon tanks in here. About 150 pounds of fish total, pretty well equally distributed. Over here we have, on the wall, we have various timers and thermostats for the hydraulic system. Control valves. This is what we call our dilution solution. It's a 60-gallon rain barrel that we've run water from the top down to the bottom, and then they suck it out of the bottom and into the fish tanks, and an anti-siphon tube off the top. We can add pH up or iron or potassium or whatever we want to add in here. And it gets diluted before it gets back to the fish tanks. We have automatic fish feeders. They're set to feed the fish 4 times a day, every 3 hours. And over here we have a little aquarium. We have a few fish that we mentioned before that's about ready to go into the larger tanks real soon. Some more inside in a compact unit we have in our dining room, same size. So we've added these condos in here. They're 6-inch diameter pipes, about 1 foot long, for the fish to breathe in. We throw a larger unit in here because some of the fish are getting so big in this tank that they can't fit in those 6-inch diameter pipes, and they're creating a little bit of a problem. This is our water enhancement technology. It's a biodigester where we separate out the solids and send them in here, and they are biodigested, aerobic bacteria, heterotrophic. And then the water is taken out near the top. We feed it at the bottom, and it's taken out near the top and returned to the fish tanks. We keep the solids in the system. This gives us about twice the nutrients that we would have if we removed them. So we can grow twice as many plants by keeping the solids in as we can by taking them out. These lights are 16-watt LEDs. We have them on each one of the fish tanks. And I'll give you a view of that with the overhead lights out. I bumped the fish feeder, so some of the fish are going a little crazy here. I'll give you another shot of that. Bump it a little bit. He likes to feed, there they go. There it is with the lights out. That's a fish room. Take care.
So this is the door to our grow room, and I'm inviting you to come on in. So here we go into the grow room, and the first thing you're going to see is this lush growth of butter lettuce. This is actually Martha Stewart Organic Seeds created this incredible spread of butter lettuce in what we call our horizontal Duffy Ducks. So there it is, our Daffy Duck sign. And this is a horizontal Daffy Duck. It's actually bigger than the vertical Daffy Ducks. It's bigger all the way around than the vertical Daffy Ducks. And it's a deep water culture system, but the water is contained in each duck, so you're using half the water to do deep water culture growing. So as we go down this aisle, we've got butter lettuce right here. We've got an incredible light, and I'm going to have Oliver tell you all about that light.
What we have here is one 420 watt induction light, which is growing, and we need to raise it up a little bit because the lettuce has grown up somewhat. It covers a 4 by 4 foot area, and it replaces 2 of these fluorescent lights at about half the power, and it grows a 4 by 4 foot area. We originally had these set up so that there were 2 fluorescents with a little gap in between, so we needed to move these ducts around a little bit for this light. We're evaluating this light to see how well it grows, different plants, and we'll be knowing more about that once we have some time on it. We've only had it for about a week or so, so we're just now seeing that it seems to be working very well, and everything's very happy underneath it for sure. Okay, so that's the induction light, and we'll tell you more about that down the road. This is our hydronic heating system. Basically, it's a water heater that has a dedicated pump on it that's controlled from the other room thermostat, which we showed you, and it circulates water into the fish tanks. So this is our aqua heat system. So I'm going to pass this back to Grace, the microphone back to Grace, and I'll take the camera and she can show you the rest of the room.
Hi again. So I just want to show you what else we're growing in this room because it's really incredible. I'm going to show you a picture of what this room looked like in the end compared to what it looks like right now with these incredible Daffy Duck system. This is Swiss chard. It's the first time we've ever grown Swiss chard. Swiss chard absolutely loves aquaponics systems, it appears. Next to the Swiss chard right over here is some romaine lettuce, and there's two different kinds of romaine lettuce. This one right here is called counter romaine. It grows really beautiful flower-like configuration, and it's really hardy and really crisp. Next to that romaine is some head lettuce. This is a whole section of head lettuce. It's loose head lettuce with some really curly kind of leaves to it. And then here comes our basil section. We're planning to put a living basil product out into the market, so these guys are ready to go. They're growing so tall that they're hitting the top of these fluorescent lights, which is one of the reasons why we want to change to induction lighting, because the induction lighting can give the plants more space to grow. Next to the basil, we have black-seeded Simpson, which is a real billowy, soft, light-colored green lettuce. It grows into really huge heads. It's pretty incredible. Here's some smaller romaine. We are staging our growth in this room, the idea being to go from smaller plants to bigger plants. So these are our smaller romaine plants. And then at the back end here, we have our seedling area. These ducks are the same size as our vertical ducks, and they contain 11 holes so that we can plant seedlings really close to one another and then take them out of this system and put them in the vertical or the horizontal Daffy Duck system. So this is working really well under the LED lights. In fact, back here you can see we're actually growing some tomato. That's a tomato plant right there. We've got a flowering plant of undetermined variety right here. We'll see what it is when we get it in a deep media bed. Here's another tomato plant. Here's a pepper plant growing in this system. Okay, this is a picture of our universal zero pesticides, petrochemicals, and GMOs label. This label has the world in the background. We see it as a worldwide brand. We see all of our Food Forever farm systems that are networked all over the planet selling the same brand out of those farms, and with the chef What changes is the thing he's holding in his hand and the name of what it is that we're selling. There's the rad shielded logo on the label, and so this is the label that we're going to be putting on all of our products. And next to that one is the zero label with a living romaine lettuce. No other company is putting out a living romaine product, so we're really excited about putting out that product. And here's our basil, living sweet basil label. There's the basil in the chef's hand and the living sweet basil name. And then here's another variation on our zero label with pepper resting on the word zero. And here's another one with living butter lettuce written into the zero. So our recommended products for all the people who are interested in building Food Forever farms: living lettuces, peppers, and basil. We are working on growing tomatoes, a real popular item, and we're also working on growing root vegetables because so far no one's come up with a way to grow root vegetables like carrots and potatoes in an aquaponics farm. Because they really are, aquaponics has so much water that the root vegetables have a hard time dealing with that. They grow great tops, but the roots don't grow. So we're experimenting with a deep media grow bed that has less water in hopes that we can grow some really beautiful carrots and some really beautiful potatoes. So we'll keep you posted about that one. Over here on the wall is the cover of a book we're writing right now. We expect it to be out in about 6 months. It's called Edible Schoolroom, and it's geared to teachers who want to have aquaponics systems in their classrooms or already have aquaponics systems in their classrooms. So this is going to be an informative book for teachers to bring aquaponics into classrooms. That whole field is just exploding. We are absolutely the go-to place for school systems, and we've got a lot of our systems in schools. And California, something really wild is happening in California right now. California is waking up. There were no aquaponics systems in California until just recently, and they are now California teachers are calling us up on the phone and want to bring in aquaponics. I think the drought has something to do with it. Suddenly aquaponics is a really important food growing technology given the fact that we're so water challenged here in California. So we have a lot of hope for creating a lot of aquaponics systems and putting them into California schools. Okay, so now we're going to move from the grow room into the fish room, which is right here. I just want you to see this picture of what the grow room looked like before we made the big conversion to a micro Food Forever farm. Pretty incredible difference in the amount of food that we can grow with the Duffy Duck systems in both the greenhouse and the grow room. And this completes our video presentation today. We want to thank you so much for spending this time with us. We know your time is precious, and we are just so honored that you chose to spend it with us and allow us to share what we've been working on for the last year, our micro Food Forever farm. If you're interested in talking more about our micro Food Forever farm or receiving a document entitled How a Food Forever Farm Works, please don't hesitate to give us a call at area code 760-671-3053. This concludes our video presentation, and again, thank you so much for watching.
As the full moon traverses behind the Sawtooth Mountains, the High Desert Lighthouse production crew packs up its gear and heads home, bidding you a good night from Aquaponics USA TV. Good night, Grace.
Good night, Oliver.